Urban. The news coming just a day after reports Australia's golden couple had separated after 19 years of marriage.
In the pantheon of Hollywood royalty, few couples command the red carpet quite like Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. They are the picture of country glamour perfection, the statuesque, Oscar-winning actress and the guitar-slinging, soulful country superstar. For nearly 2 years, their public displays of affection, whispered secrets at the Golden Globes, nose-rubbing at the CMAs, have made them the industry's gold standard for romance. But recently, the curtain has been pulled back. Through a series of raw interviews, podcast appearances, and intimate biographical revelations, a new narrative has emerged. It is a story that has stunned fans, not because of a current scandal, but because of the sheer proximity to disaster this couple once faced. The revelation isn't that they are perfect, it's that they are survivors of a marital coma that nearly ended it all before it barely began. This is the untold story of what really happened during the 4-month crisis, the intervention that changed everything, and why Nicole Kidman admits that their love story was built on a minefield. Part 1. Two Lonely Hearts, 2005. To understand the revelation, one must understand the desperation that preceded it. By 2005, Nicole Kidman was arguably the most famous actress in the world. She was also, by her own admission, the loneliest woman in the world. Fresh off a highly publicized, devastating divorce from Tom Cruise, Kidman was holding an Oscar for her role in The Hours, but she had no one to share it with. "I was holding a gold statue," she later revealed, "and I was the loneliest I'd ever been." Enter Keith Urban. At the Day LA event in January 2005, the two Australians crossed paths. Urban was battling his own demons. A successful musician, yes, but one plagued by a history of substance abuse and a deep-seated shyness that crippled his romantic life. "I saw her and I was like, she's way out of my league," Urban admitted in a recent retrospective. "I didn't even have the courage to ask for her number." But the revelation here, which Kidman has recently clarified, is that the fairy tale didn't start instantly. Urban waited 4 months to call her. For Kidman, who was fragile and seeking connection, this period was confusing. When they finally connected, the romance moved at warp speed. They were two people clinging to a life raft. They married in June 2006 in a candlelit ceremony in Manly, Australia. It looked like the happy ending. It was actually the beginning of a nightmare. Part 2. The Gray Zone, the 2006 crisis. This is the chapter of their lives that recent interviews have shed new light on. The period fans are calling the lost months. Fans often forget that Keith Urban was a functioning addict when he met Nicole. He had been to rehab twice before. He was white-knuckling his sobriety when they started dating. The euphoria of falling in love provided a temporary high that mimicked sobriety, a dangerous psychological state known as pink clouding. But once the wedding was over and the reality of marriage set in, specifically Nicole's traveling schedule and Keith's touring demands, the demons returned with a vengeance. In a stunning admission, sources close to the couple have revealed that just weeks after the wedding, Nicole realized something was wrong. Keith would disappear for hours. His moods were erratic. The man she had just pledged her life to was slipping away. "I didn't know what I was doing," Kidman revealed in a past interview that has resurfaced with new context. "I was deeply in love, but I was also deeply in the dark." The breaking point came in October 2006, just 4 months after their wedding. Keith had relapsed. He was using drugs and alcohol, spiraling out of control while Nicole was filming. The revelation that has fans stunned is the severity of the situation. This wasn't a case of partying too hard. This was a life or death scenario. Part 3. The intervention. This is the what really happened moment. In October 2006, Nicole Kidman did something that went against every instinct of a newlywed trying to protect her husband's privacy. She gathered a small group of Keith's closest friends and staged a full-blown intervention. It was messy. It was painful. It was not the Hollywood version where the addict immediately hugs everyone and agrees to go. Keith felt ambushed. He felt his new wife had betrayed his trust. He was angry. For a terrifying 24-hour period, it appeared the marriage was over. Nicole Kidman, the woman who had already endured the most public divorce of the decade, was staring down the barrel of an annulment. But then the pivot happened. Keith looked at Nicole, really looked at her, and saw the terror in her eyes. He realized that she loved him enough to risk him hating her just to save his life. "I caused the implosion of my fresh marriage," Keith later told Rolling Stone. "It survived, but it was a miracle it did. I was spiritually awoken with her. I used the expression, I was born into her, and that's how I feel. And for the first time in my life, I could shake off the shackles of addiction." He checked into the Betty Ford Center on October 19, 2006. He spent 3 months in rehab. Part 4, the 3-month rule. While Keith was in rehab, Nicole Kidman was alone again. But this time, she wasn't the lonely woman with the Oscar. She was a wife fighting for her husband. During this time, Kidman made a decision that would define the rest of their marriage. She decided to stop managing him. In a recent revelation that shocked fans accustomed to the idea of standing by your man, Nicole admitted she had to learn a hard lesson about codependency. "You can't save a human being," she said. "You can only save yourself." She had to let go of the idea that her love alone could cure his addiction. This detachment was brutal, but it was necessary. When Keith emerged from rehab in January 2007, they were essentially meeting for the third time. First at Day LA, second at the altar, and third as two sober, scarred adults trying to figure out if they actually knew each other. Part 5, the pact. The stunned reaction from fans recently comes from the details of the pact the couple made upon his release. To ensure this never happened again, they implemented strict, almost military-grade rules for their relationship. The 2-week rule. They would never spend more than 2 weeks apart, no matter how much money it cost or how difficult the travel was. Keith has admitted to flying to Australia from the US for dinner, then flying back the same night. No secrets. Absolute transparency regarding feelings, triggers, and fears. Prioritizing the unit. If a movie role threatened the family dynamic, the movie role was cut. This pact required sacrifice. Nicole passed on major roles. Keith routed tours around her filming locations. They bought a farm in Nashville to escape the toxicity of Los Angeles. They built a cocoon. Part 6, the struggle for family. The next hurdle was biological. The couple desperately wanted children. Nicole had adopted with Tom Cruise, but she yearned to carry a child. In the pantheon of Hollywood royalty, few couples command the red carpet quite like Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. They are the picture of country glamour perfection. The statuesque, Oscar-winning actress and the guitar-slinging, soulful country superstar. For nearly 2 years, their public displays of affection she had suffered miscarriages and ectopic pregnancies in the past. The arrival of Sunday Rose in 2008 was, according to Nicole, a miracle. But the birth of their second daughter, Faith Margaret, in 2010, brought another layer of secrecy and revelation. They utilized the gestational carrier, surrogate. For months, they kept this a secret. When they revealed it, the world was stunned not just by the method, but by the sheer determination of the couple to expand their family despite biological roadblocks. It cemented them as a unit that would do anything to build their specific version of happiness. Part 7, the present day, why fans are talking now. So, why is this story trending again? Why are fans stunned now? It stems from a combination of Keith's residency in Las Vegas and Nicole's recent Raw interviews while promoting her latest projects, Expats, A Family Affair. Nicole has dropped the perfect persona. She has begun speaking openly about the anxiety she feels when Keith is away. She has spoken about the trauma of the early days. In a recent viral moment, Keith admitted that Nicole is the one who saved him, but Nicole corrected the narrative. She insisted she didn't save him, he saved himself for her. The press release arrived not with a bang, but with a whisper, a simple white PDF attached to an email sent simultaneously to the Associated Press, People, and the Sydney Morning Herald at exactly 6 a.m. Pacific Time. There were no publicists scrambling on the phone, no leaked rumors to TMZ in the days prior. Just the silence, followed by the statement that would shatter the illusion of Hollywood's most enduring romance. Nicole Kidman, the Oscar-winning titan of cinema, and Keith Urban, the 4-time Grammy-winning country sovereign, have separated after 19 years of marriage. The joint statement, signed simply Nicole and Keith, read as follows. After 19 years of love, laughter, and shared history, we have made the difficult decision to separate. We remain best friends, devoted parents, and partners in the upbringing of our daughters, Sunday and Faith. The love we hold for one another is undiminished, but the paths of our lives have evolved in different directions. We ask for grace and privacy for our family as we navigate this new chapter. In an industry where marriages are often measured in months rather than decades, the Kidman-Urban union was viewed not just as a relationship, but as an institution, a fortress built on Australian grit, Nashville soul, and a seemingly infinite supply of red carpet adoration. To understand the magnitude of this split is to understand the ecosystem they built, a trans-Pacific empire of art, real estate, and public devotion that seemed impervious to the rust that corrodes so many other A-list bonds. Part 1. The cracks in the porcelain. While the announcement stunned the public, insiders suggest the separation was not a sudden fracture, but a slow erosion, a conscious uncoupling born of geography and ambition rather than malice. They haven't been in the same time zone for more than 3 weeks consecutively in the last 2 years, claimed a source close to Kidman's production company, Blossom Films. Nicole has been experiencing a career renaissance that requires her to be in London, New York, and Hong Kong. Keith is a creature of the road and the studio in Nashville. They became pen pals in their own marriage. The logistical strain of their union was always its most defining feature. For years, they adhered to a strict 2-week rule, a pact made early in their marriage never to spend more than 14 days apart. Urban famously would fly commercial economy if needed, or charter jets in the middle of the night, just to have breakfast with Kidman on a film set before flying back for a show. But as the years turned into decades, the romantic gesture of the red-eye rendezvous reportedly turned into an exhausting burden. Urban's residency in Las Vegas and his commitments to The Voice kept him tethered to the American South and West. Meanwhile, Kidman's voracious appetite for complex roles led her to productions that were increasingly global. The 2-week rule became the 3-week rule. Then the we'll see each other when the tour ends rule, the source added. It wasn't a lack of love. It was a lack of life lived together. Part 2. The beginning of forever. To process the end, one must look back to the improbable beginning. They met in January 2005 at the Day LA Gala, an event celebrating Australians in Los Angeles. Kidman was 37, floating in the strange ether following her highly publicized divorce from Tom Cruise. She famously described herself as lonely during her 2003 Oscar win for The Hours, holding the golden statue in an empty hotel room. Urban was 37 as well, a country star on the rise but battling demons that Kidman knew nothing about. I remember thinking, such a gentle soul, Kidman told Vanity Fair in 2013. He didn't say much, but he had my number. And he didn't call for 4 months. When he finally did call, the connection was electric. They were married in June 2006 in a candlelit chapel in Manly, Australia. It was a fairy tale, the ice queen of Hollywood melting for the guitar slinger. But the honeymoon ended abruptly. For months into their marriage, Kidman staged an intervention for Urban's alcoholism. He checked into the Betty Ford Center, leaving his new bride to manage the press alone. It was a trial by fire that should have destroyed them. Instead, it welded them together. Urban has frequently credited Kidman with saving his life. I caused the implosion of my fresh marriage, Urban told Rolling Stone years later. It survived, but it's a miracle it did. She was strong enough to love me until I could love myself. That narrative of the survivors, the ones who fought for it, became their armor. Every red carpet appearance featured them with heads touching, whispering secrets, gazing at one another with an intensity that made onlookers feel like intruders. Critics called it performative. Friends called it essential. Part 3. The Empire of Two. Over 19 years, they built more than a family. They built a kingdom. Their real estate portfolio alone is estimated to be worth over $400 million, comprising a penthouse in Sydney, a farm in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales, a duplex in New York City's Chelsea, a mansion in Beverly Hills, and their primary residence, a sprawling estate in Nashville. Untangling these assets will be a complex legal maneuver. Those sources indicate a steel-clad, prenuptial agreement exists. However, the emotional assets are far heavier. They share 2 biological daughters, Sunday Rose, 17, and Faith Margaret, 15. Both girls have largely been kept out of the spotlight, raised with a foot in both Tennessee mud and Australian sand. She had suffered miscarriages and ectopic pregnancies in the past. The arrival of Sunday Rose in 2008 was, according to Nicole, a miracle. But the birth of their second daughter, Faith Margaret, in 2010, brought another layer of secrecy and revelation. They utilized the gestational carrier, surrogate. For months, they kept this a secret. When they revealed it, the world was stunned not just by the method, but by the sheer determination of the couple to... The priority right now is the girls, said a representative for the family. This is why the announcement was timed for January, after the holidays, before the school year intensifies. They wanted one last Christmas at the farm as a unit. Part 4, The Signs We Missed. Retrospect offers 2020 vision, and industry analysts are now pointing to subtle shifts in the couple's public behavior over the last 12 months. The solo carpets. Kidman attended the premiere of her latest limited series, The Glass Hotel, alone in November 2025. At the time, her team cited Urban's studio schedule. In hindsight, his absence at such a major career milestone was telling. The songwriting, Urban's 2025 album, High Wire, featured tracks that were decidedly more melancholic than his usual upbeat, romantic anthems. The track Empty Hallways speaks of voices echoing in a house built for 2. Fans originally interpreted this as a metaphor for empty nest syndrome as their daughters aged. Now, it reads like a diary entry of a lonely husband. The social media shift, the couple, famous for their adoration posts on anniversaries and birthdays, went unusually quiet in late 2025. There was no Halloween photo, a staple of the Urban Kidman household. Dr. Sheila Robinson, a celebrity relationship psychologist who does not treat the couple, commented on the nature of gray divorce, couples splitting after age 50. When you have achieved everything, Oscars, Grammys, wealth, children, you are left with the person across the table, Robinson explains. If that person has changed, or if you have changed, the glue of shared struggle is gone. Nicole and Keith are no longer fighting for his sobriety or her career validation. They have won those battles. The question became, what are we fighting for now? And perhaps the answer was ourselves, individually. Part 5, The Industry Reaction. The news has sent shockwaves through 2 very different towns, Hollywood and Nashville. In Nashville, Urban is treated as royalty, a man who brought international glamour to Music City without losing his approachability. Keith is the guy you see at Starbucks on West End, says a local music producer. He's part of the fabric here. Nicole was always the gracious visitor. Nashville will rally around Keith, but they have immense respect for Nicole. In Hollywood, the sentiment is one of sadness but lack of surprise. Nicole is a workhorse, says a casting director who has worked with Kidman. She throws herself into roles with a terrifying intensity. It's hard to be married to a woman who is emotionally inhabiting a different person 10 months out of the year. Keith is a star, but Nicole is a supernova. That gravity is hard to live with. Close friend and fellow Australian Naomi Watts was reportedly spotted arriving at Kidman's New York apartment hours after the announcement. Social media has been flooded with tributes to the relationship, with fans creating montage videos of the couple set to Urban's hit The Fighter, a song written about Kidman. Part 6, The Official Statement, a closer look. The brevity of the official statement stands in stark contrast to the verbose denials of other celebrity splits. By confirming the different directions, Kidman and Urban have bypassed the usual irreconcilable differences jargon. It's a classy exit, says PR crisis manager Howard Bragman. They controlled the narrative. They didn't let the tabloids break it. They owned it. It preserves their brand as dignified, loving people who just couldn't make the logistics work. Kidman's personal rep added a supplementary comment. Nicole requests that the media refrain from speculation regarding third parties. This decision was mutual and born of a long period of reflection. This effectively squashes rumors of infidelity, a plague that ends many high-profile marriages. By all accounts, There is no other woman or other man. There is only time, distance, and the relentless pressure of maintaining a high-performance life. Part 7, what comes next? For Urban, the road beckons. He has announced an extension of his High Wire tour, adding dates in Europe and Asia for late 2026. The road has always been his escape and his therapy. For Kidman, the work continues. She is currently attached to star in and produce 3 upcoming limited series and a biopic about relentless fashion editor Diana Vreeland. Work has always been her sanctuary. When Cruise left her, she won an Oscar. One can only imagine what level of performance this heartbreak will fuel. But the immediate future involves the untangling of a life. Who gets the Nashville farm? Who keeps the friends? How do they navigate the red carpet at the CMAs or the Oscars when they are no longer the it couple? Part 8. The legacy of Keith and Nick. Ultimately, the failure of their marriage to last forever does not negate its success. 19 years in the spotlight is a lifetime. They raised 2 children, supported each other through rehab, the death of parents, and the shifting